My older daughter has been bitter about everything her sister achieves. After one car ride, I finally said what I'd been holding back for months. I need to give you the full picture because this didn't start in that car. My older daughter Madison dropped out of college. She wasn't attending classes, her GPA collapsed, and eventually the university removed her. She's been waitressing since then, carrying debt, struggling financially. I understand that's a hard place to be, and I've tried to help her more times than I can count. My younger daughter Becky just graduated, got a full ride so she has no loans, and landed a job offer at a good company. She worked hard for all of it, and she's excited about her life. The problem is that Madison cannot let Becky have anything. Every achievement, every milestone, every good thing that happens to her sister gets processed by Madison as a personal injustice. Not as something her sister earned, not as something to be happy about. As evidence that life is unfair to Madison specifically. I've watched this build for months. I've talked to Madison about it privately, gently, directly. My wife and I have both tried. The bitterness just keeps growing. This weekend we had a family dinner. Becky mentioned in passing that she was planning a trip to Iceland in the fall. It was a quick comment, not a big announcement, just something she was looking forward to. The dinner was fine. The car ride home was not. Madison went off. Not quietly, not tearfully, full-on angry. That Becky gets to do all this cool stuff. That it wasn't fair. That she was the older one, and her life should be further along. And then she started insulting her sister directly, going after Becky personally in a way that had nothing to do with fairness and everything to do with tearing someone down. That was the moment I'd had enough. I told her she needed to get over the jealousy. That the reason her life looked the way it did was her own decisions. That Becky's trip to Iceland had nothing to do with Madison, and attacking her sister for living her life was not something I was going to sit quietly through anymore. She was furious. We argued. She's been cold since. My wife thinks I went too far. That I was too blunt and that Madison is already struggling, and hearing it that directly made things worse. I've been thinking about whether she's right. Here's where I keep landing. I have genuine empathy for Madison's situation. Dropping out, being in debt, watching your life feel stalled while your younger siblings takes off, that's painful in a real way, and I don't dismiss it. The feelings underneath the bitterness make sense to me, but there's a line between struggling and taking it out on your sister. Between feeling behind and insulting the person who got ahead. Between pain and cruelty. Madison crossed that line in the car, and she's been edging toward it for months. I've tried compassionate conversations. I've tried practical help. I've tried giving her space to feel what she feels while redirecting the behavior. None of it has produced any change. Maybe the direct version was too much in that moment, but I'm also not sure I had another gear left. She's my daughter and I love her and I want her life to get better. Genuinely. I'm not writing her off or comparing her to Becky to make her feel small. I just couldn't sit in that car and listen to her go after her sister for booking a vacation. Becky has worked for everything she has. She deserves a father who says so, even when it costs something.